guys, this is Heidi with Kiddos Corral, and I just realized my dishwasher is making a ton of noise, so I'm just going to open it until I get done with this. I want to show you guys how I have been making granola. I have been making it, you know, for a while now, but I switch up. So you can actually make this granola any way that you want. So if you want to add dried cranberries, dried apples, dates, prunes, I mean, your world is your oyster. You can add anything that you want. But this is my simple recipe. But if you don't like coconut, leave it out. You do not have to have coconut if you don't like it. If you don't like raisins, leave it out. I know a lot of people kind of make it really plain for their kids, and then the kids can add the coconut or the raisins or whatever they want to add in the morning. But my kids are not picky, so I'm just going to go ahead and add the coconut and all of how I like it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is figure out how to open up your oatmeal. This is pretty easy, I think. Okay, I got the old-fashioned all natural oats, as you can see right here. These come from Aldi's, and these actually have more nutrition in them, nutritional value, than the 1 minute oats. I'm not opposed to the other oatmeal. I'm just saying that this for granola works because you bake it and it gets nice and it tastes good. So I probably use, you know, this is a really large bowl. So right now I'm about at 3/4 of a container of oats. And I just put it, make sure it's all in a big bowl that would be easy to mix. I've got a half a bag, and let me see how many ounces is in this. So it'll be about 4 ounces of walnuts. I'm going to pause this video and I'll be right back. Okay, my crew just came home, so I paused it because they didn't know I was videoing. But I do about, it says this is 4 ounces. This is like a half a bag of chopped walnuts. And I add that. And these also came from Aldi's. They have excellent prices on nuts and dried fruits and such. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees. I need to get a knife to open this coconut. I'm going to use a half a bag of unsweetened coconut. Then I'm going to add my raisins. And I add an entire box of raisins. These, let's see. Says it's 4.5 ounces of raisins. So I'm going to cut that open. And raisins are really good for you. So, like I said, you can use dried cranberries. Dried cherries are really, really good in granola. But I'm just using what I have on hand. Now, to sweeten this granola and make it, and make sure my raisins are kind of broke up. They'll break up as you mix it. I use 100% pure maple syrup. Now, maple syrup, a lot of people don't know this, but maple syrup in itself is very high in iron, especially if it's organic. And I don't really measure this. I just kind of eyeball it and just pour it over the top. Just like that. And you can see how much I've used in the bottle. And then I also want to use honey. And I don't really measure it either. I just kind of pour it in according to our preference. We love honey in just about everything. Now this honey came from Costco, but I think that this coming month I may buy organic, well, this is organic, but I may buy some honey from Whole Foods. There was a man and woman that actually have their own bees, and Whole Foods sells their honey here locally, and they were giving out samples the other day when I was in there, and it was really, really, really good. Now, as you stir this, I just want to make sure that the maple syrup and the honey kind of gets throughout the granola. So as you stir, you'll be able to see whether or not you might need just a little bit more here and there. So I'm going to add a little bit more of my maple syrup. And this is kind of gonna, it kind of gives, it kind of crystallizes as you bake it, and in my opinion, it kind of gives your granola that crunch that you're looking for. And this is a great way to have a lot of sweetness without having a whole lot of, you know, sugar. I know a lot of granolas that you buy in the store, if you read the packages, they have a lot of oils and a lot of added stuff to them. I just want to make sure that this gets good and combined. So while I'm getting this good and combined, you'll want to get a large cookie sheet out, and you're going to want to cover it with parchment paper, which I have right here next to me. This already smells really good. Alright, I am going to continue to mix this, and I'll show you what the next thing is that I add, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have all of this combined. I got my last ingredient out, and this is how I keep my flaxseed. My flaxseed I actually purchased from Costco, and it lasts me a really, really long time. So I add about 1/4 cup of flaxseed to my granola. This is really, really good for you. And you got to remember to make sure that you buy flaxseed that is ground, because your body does not absorb it or use it if it's not ground. A lot of the cereals and stuff say it has flaxseed in it, but it's not. This ground flaxseed, and it's not doing, it has no nutritional value whatsoever. It basically goes into your body and goes out of your body. So once I get this good and stirred in, and I want to just move this stuff a little bit, I want to go ahead and get my pan out here, and I want to spread all of this onto my cookie sheet. And look how much this makes. If you've ever bought a little bag of granola in the store, how expensive it is. And understand, you can add whatever you want. If you want to add banana chips to this, if you want to add walnuts, almonds, cashews, I mean anything that you want to add to your granola. That's the great thing about this recipe, you can make it your own. So I just spread it out as even as possible. It's a lot. So, and what I do is I just put it in a 350-degree oven, and it'll get nice and brown all over. And also too, it will, you know, it'll kind of like start kind of sticking together a little bit where you'll know that it's done. So I'm going to put this in 350-degree oven. It usually takes between 15 and 20 minutes. Sometimes, because I don't really measure my stuff out, it may take another 5-10 minutes because I may have more here. what I do is I put it in for 10 minutes and then I just keep my spatula out and I take it out and I just kind of stir it around a little bit and then cook it or bake it another 10 minutes and stir it around and just make sure it's getting good and done throughout the granola. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the oven and I will show you guys the finished product. Okay, my granola's been in there for 10 minutes and I thought I would also tell you that last minute before I put it in the oven, I just sprinkled it lightly with a little bit of organic cinnamon. Whenever you mix this up in the bowl, you can add extracts if you like certain flavors. You can add almond extract, you can add vanilla extract. I didn't this time, but you definitely can. So all you want to do now is you want to stir this. And if you hear my kids in the background, it's because everybody is currently home. So all I do is just kind of shovel through. And this is really fun to make with your kids because they can pick and choose what they want in it if you are making it for your kids to start their day off. And we like to eat ours either on top of Greek yogurt or we like to eat it with almond milk in the morning. We have been trying to utilize less regular milk because of all the warnings and things, and they're saying it's not exactly all that good for you, so because it's so processed. So we've been kind of turning to almond milk, which actually I'm kind of growing very fond of. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this back in the oven for another 10 minutes. Okay, my granola is all done. It's gotten very, very brown, and the only way I can describe to tell you how I know that it's done, it is very dry. There is no more moistness from the honey or the maple syrup, and that is the only way I know to describe this. But it baked in the oven at 350 degrees, and like I said, I baked it for 10 minutes, stirred it, baked it another 10 minutes, stirred it, and then I did an additional 5 minutes because I felt like it needed it. And I'm just going to show you the container that I put it in. And that is just a big, giant Rubbermaid container. I use this for all kinds of things. I've actually used this for bread flour and all kinds of things. So basically all I do is I pour it directly into, and you guys are going to laugh at my oven mitts. They do not match, and one is Christmas. So basically just pour it in here like so. There we go. And you can see how much it makes. It makes a good bit of granola. And for the cost of this, I would have not gotten this much granola from the store had I bought it. Already pre-made. But you can see it's still really hot, but it's really dry, and the nuts and stuff are, and the raisins are plump. So let me see if I can give you a close-up look of what it looks like. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see that good. But I hope y'all enjoyed this Sunday Simple Supper, and I will be talking to you again soon. Bye-bye.